Good evening, all. We, on behalf of the SREC Alumni Association and the Department of Biomedical Engineering, welcome you all for this 93rd webinar talk, Opportunity and Challenges in Medical Device Industry. Principal Ma'am has conveyed her wishes for this event. We welcome speaker of the day, Ms. Abinaya Baskaran, faculty members, current students, and all alumni friends. Ms. Abinaya, after joined GE Healthcare as a clinical application specialist at Coimbatore and worked for a year and a half. Then she moved on to Pune and worked for a couple of years. Then in 2018, she became regional pivot WHS South and West at Chennai and worked for a year. Since 2019, she is with GenWorks Health at Chennai. First, she joined as a women's health products consultant and currently as leader quality and customer experience. She's passionate in working on product marketing strategies. We are eager to hear from you, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Vasanth, for this wonderful introduction. So good evening, everyone. I'm so happy that to meet everyone again, and I have to thank SREC Alumni Association staffs and also the members for inviting me and giving an opportunity to talk about this opportunities and challenge in medical device industry. So as already Basant have told about me, now I'll just tell what I'm going to talk about in this opportunities and challenges. So first is I would always name it as opportunities rather than job role, because here everyone wants the searching for job but not as an opportunity. So opportunities and skills required in various domains and just choosing the right domain, challenges and the frequent questions which I get from people, juniors and people who are meet. So that and again we'll discuss on the topics. So first, when I just come up into opportunities, so this all the huge opportunities is upcoming in medical device industries, especially after pandemic. Everyone have realized the importance of medical devices and how it supports our economy and also the hospital infrastructure and advanced technology. So in as per the now, it is limited and most wanted roles as an opportunity is product specialist and customer support engineer, which is more of customer facing role. There we have to go and meet doctors and end-to-end support, and quality and regulatory role, which is more of legal and standards which required. Management role is more of into the business management and everything. Research, which is R&D role, where you need another additional support of masters of science or ME, and also an IT sector, which is new booming industries in healthcare that actually aided healthcare in pandemic also because of digital means of connecting and again automation and everything. So this has a huge opportunities now in biomedical field and also the medical device industry as a whole. So when I wanted to discuss about the product specialist role, the major challenge and opportunities when you're choosing is it's about two of this expectation. Why I insist on customer is we are going to deal with a customer who is a doctor. So doctors are the person who is more highly educated, and we are going to train them as an engineer and also make use of their time more productively and convincing them that we can bring value to them. So this is a more important role which we're going to do, that this is all the expectations which we have to understand, so then it will be helpful for us to serve that opportunity. So as I say, doctors, when we go as a product specialist, they expect the person who we can train them well in using an advanced technology, because they are already well versed in dealing with patients and everything. But when it comes to mission, they are very new. They have wanted to know the advanced technologies, and again they wanted to have a less explanation because of their time constraint, and they need to have a continuous follow-up, like commitment to them to teach it, and also make sure that they are getting all the industry. And the company, as a person, when you're going for an interview or something, what they expect is they just first thing is expect as a passion for both technology and also the revenue, because as a company they expect what revenue we are going to bring for a organization. And again, to manage the traveling schedule, which requires around 20 to 25 days of traveling, and again to have a strong customer relationship, and again better sales conversion like with demo trade shows that we have to do. So apart from technical role and expertise, in company expects us to make sure that we are having some revenue to them with the demo which we are doing. So that is a passion and also business acumen they expect from us as a engineer, which we go for a product specialist role. So when I wanted to apply for a role like this, so this all the skills which is required, like presentation skill. So like that we will be able to present them as a product in very simple language, and to be self-learning, because the resources will be very less. We have to learn by ourselves many things. And again, interpersonal skill, when you're connecting with people from different cultural background. And again, you have to plan. When I say when ability to manage travel, we have to plan the things in time. And again, all the customers, and we have to be communication and negotiation. It's more of clinical terms. We're communicating with a doctor, and everything should be in a clinical ways, and also not wrong way. So with the better evidence we have to be able to communicate. And the customer support engineer is another opportunity where the customer expectation is about good problem solving skill they need to have. It is doesn't require much travel as a product specialist role, but here they have to calibrate and repair the equipments, and they wanted to be more responsive. Like the customer will expect them to immediately respond to their calls and also breakdown calls. And again, service engineer also have to know the latest industry updates about the equipment and everything. So the company, what they expect as a customer support role, this is most wanted role. They need to have a troubleshooting and problem solving mind. And apart from that, in profitability aspect, they expect the people who can manage the installation base. Like for a product, they will have a particular installation base for a particular region. So they should have a ability to manage it, and they have to create value whenever they're going to a repair or getting a breakdown call. The customer should be willing to pay for them based on their service. So that kind of better quality of servicing they can provide to the customer, then it would be a very good success as a customer support engineer. So here as a customer support engineer, it's like more or less same as a product specialist. Only thing is, rather than presentation, it's more about problem solving. Yeah, so here we are not going to pitch anything related to product or marketing or something, but here they have to solve the problem the customer is facing on day-to-day basis. Also, better planning, which is required to manage the time and also the customer queries. So quality and regulatory is actually a very much emerging field, and it will have a very good scope in future. Why? Because we are having a many manufacturing facilities which is going to open in another 5-10 years in India, because of many things happening in Hyderabad and Bangalore. There's many companies who's just coming on to set up a manufacturing plant. So this role is not only limited to medical device, but from medical device industry, it is you can extend to any other industry as a in a manufacturing plant or anything. So this actually requires a person to be thorough in the standards of ISO 13485, which is more specific to medical device. But apart from ISO 13485, there is other standards which is like ISO 9001 and ISO 14001, which is for risk assessment. So like how as a lawyer who will be very thorough on their IPC session, and at least even if they can refer and say to them that to a customer when it is required, this kind of standard or this kind of substandard is required in this assessment on this medical device regulations. So that is what the quality and regulatory affairs specialist will do in this. So here they have to be very thorough on the standards. In especially the safety devices, they trust them well. Like whenever the decision is taken as a company, they really trust on the quality and regulatory specialist, and they make the safety. approval and everything. So this is very important for any organization to get approved for a medical device safety and everything. So the customer expects them to train them well, and again documentation will be more of procedures and standards for every department, and they have to be very good in performing audits. Like if you go and see a chartered accountant who's tax consultant, so they will performing an audits of particular department and particular file, so they should be good in conducting audit. So, and again, as a company, what they expect is to be open-minded as a nurse specialist, because the change management, and again, the person who are dealing with will be mostly a cross-functional team, like from sourcing, HR, and everything you have to be dealing with and communicating with on day-to-day basis. So they have to be very quick learner in complete industry, but this requires more quick learning. And again, to have a strong domain expertise, even if it is not very high, but at least to a level where they can easily refer and tell the standards to the person when it is required by the management and company. So the skills required for this a quality and regulatory affairs specialist is training skills, and again the expertise in regulatory standards. And again, as I told, audit school, they should be very careful in making minute details of misdone by any other department. So this all very important, and coordinating with cross-functional team, because this will be a second priority for anyone. If you go and ask any department who's working, so they will consider it as a quality check or something as a second priority in their work. So they have to be very patient in coordinating with them on that. So this all the skills which is required to be a quality and affairs specialist. So, and again, apart from this, the management role, which many prefers nowadays, because of because of no travel, and again you will get a proper 9 to 5 job and everything. So here, but the thing is, the overall view of industry and profitability generation will be an expectation from your company. Suppose if a company is hiring a management representative or management role person, so what they expect is, from a candidate, what kind of revenue they are going to get as a company, or what profit they are going to get in a business perspective in a management, from a management role. And so here, to get into management role, they have to do an MBA in general domain or MBA in hospital management. So this two are completely different. So once you do MBA hospital management, then it's difficult to come into industry. From industry going into hospital management is difficult. So this is completely different path. So if someone is doing an operations marketing domain of MBA, then they have to pursue a career in medical device industry, and someone is doing hospital management, it's good for them to pursue a career in hospital related management. And it is always very good for them to do an alignment of business projects with the role. Suppose if they want to pursue like as I told previously, if I want to be a product marketing strategist in future, to choose a MBA marketing and do a project related to that. So once I complete it, so it would be easy for me to get that job very easily. If suppose my alignment is completely different, I've done MBA and not anything which is aligned to particular industry or particular solutions of what is required in industry, then it will be a very difficult for them. And again, the second thing is, they will not have any value for an MBA, because after engineering they have done 2 years of study and also paid so much of money, but the pay scale what are getting after MBA will be less if that is not aligned with the existing business project or business scope required from the industry. So it's always very important for them to know before doing an MBA or after doing a management role. They are to very sure on choosing the field of scope of the career. And again, the alignment of role with the business project they have to do. And again, the same research role. So if they have to do anything in R&D, and the person decide that they don't want to do a master's and they start directly a job in, I wanted to look for an opportunity in R&D without any master's, then it is very good. There is many startups like in IIT Madras, there are many startups that supports the research project, and or in Andhra, there's something like technical hub for medical devices that has many startups with support with internship for research. So they can work them as a research and development engineer and also just lead many projects. So that is a very good opportunity for them. Or they can pursue a fellowship. So when say science fellowship, if they are again, as I told, the alignment with the business project, same thing. If they have passion and grit to do an innovation and having more curiosity on doing science projects, they can apply for the fellowships and scholarship abroad with the projects which they have completed. So that will be a very great option who wanted to do an R&D role. And directly doing MS PhD is also a very good option that will give a good development for them in the role. And again, this is a very booming industry, which I already told. It has been very much, it is very, the opportunities is very high even after pandemic because of big data analytics, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. So the automation is very important now because of sometimes the availability of less availability of physicians, and again time constraints of the doctors, everything just wanted the healthcare industry to move towards an automation. So the artificial intelligence, machine learning has a very good scope in this IT field. And again, for big data analytics, example, the data management and patient data management and many other data related to healthcare and also the medical devices is very much complicated now. Doing a big data analytics and Six Sigma, many projects will really give a very good opportunities for them in the field of IT, because the IT industry has a very good expectation of combining with healthcare in this particular field, especially and automation and data management, and very less scope is there. It's very, like I say, 30% of this is based on software as service, SaaS solutions, which is for providing some software for regular day-to-day activities to support execution function or routine operations for a company, hospital, or anything. So this has to come up with a company like Zogo or anything. So here, what happens is that comes like a routine other field, but this artificial intelligence, big data is more related to healthcare innovation. So after choosing opportunity, the most important thing is just choosing a domain expertise. Domain expertise is very important in our medical device industry because just to learn a device of medical device and using it thoroughly takes years. So they have to know multiple domains available in the medical device industry. So the first domain is ultrasound. So the ultrasound is a very big field because it's also most difficult one. And the thing is, here what it is it's more user dependent. Here, any other devices, this multiple automations where they don't want to depend on a doctor to operate. Here, the doctor themselves operate. So, and again, here this is the only option available for the pregnant patient to scan. So, it is always will not be existent. So, the women's health studies, cardiology studies, and general scanning, because of cost effectiveness, ultrasound is a very important domain, and also most difficult to learn by the doctors because it requires more of customer management. So here the companies which deal with is GE, Philips, Siemens, Samsung, and Mindray. These are the top companies that delivers the product within this domain. And imaging is also requires a domain, but here this doesn't require much coordination with doctors, because here in imaging field mostly everything is done by a technician, and the machines and products here will be completely automated. And the patient, if anyone definitely would have done an X-ray, MRI, CT, PET at least once in a lifetime. So if you go on an X-ray, it would be done by a technician. It will be very simple for them to use a product, not be very complicated to learn or teach them. But here, just making them to understand the technology or product, that is also very good to learn from the radiology perspective. So this is all the top company, Siemens, which is in German, GE, Philips, and Canon Medical Systems. This is comes as a Canon is for known for mammography. So this is all the very top companies that deals with this domain. And the next domain, which is like surgical and invasive devices. So surgical, whichever requires the product which is in the operation theater setup, and again which requires an invasive procedure. This comes into this domain. Here the product includes like laparoscopy, endoscopy, diathermy, neurosurgery, angiography, and dialysis. So here like this everything comes in a specialty division. So the major most popular company in this is Medtronics, Stryker, all the five is the top companies which has a which supports the products in the domain, and they are leader in the product. And again, this is diagnostic equipment. So this is a very important thing which is in happening in COVID, like lab equipments, which is called as in vitro diagnostics, which we done for a COVID positive test or everything, and pathology lab testing, genetic testing, and monitoring equipment like screening solutions. Everything comes in a diagnostic equipment. So definitely everyone would have known if you've been to diagnostic and therapeutic lab, but how it is different from a diagnostic DT, which we study in theory and in practical, is here the major advancement comes in automation, and again the advancements comes in regulations of the FDA approval and everything. So the sensor and whatever you are using will be more updated from what we are studying in a theory. So to get that idea, just if you go for a lab and see what are the equipments they are using, so they will get a better idea like how it is different. So this all the top companies like Thermo Fisher, PerkinElmer, Radiometer, Johnson and Johnson. So this is all the companies that deals with this diagnostic equipments. So and again therapeutic equipments. This is a very also specialty divisions. So here comes is like pacemakers. So where we just keep it for cardiac patients, hearing aids, optical aids, mobility aids, which we are, if you've done a rehabilitation engineering, you definitely know what is that mobility aids. Prosthesis, which like cochlear implant and whatever it is. So here the Medtronics again is the most leader in pacemaker, McKinsey. This is all the companies that deals with therapeutic equipment. So whenever we wanted to know about this thing, so why I just mentioned again the top companies is which we have to know this all the market leaders in the particular product. So that means this all the company who have done the product, designed the product, and they are very successful in it, in giving to doctor, and they are the trustworthy partner of the doctor. So whenever to go for a domain expertise, you have to contact these companies and also understand that how to, then you'll get an understanding how we are going to develop the domain expertise. So and again critical care, which is like more important, ventilator, ICU equipment, and also this oxygen supply which has came now. So that is like O2 concentrator, which is very simple device which is required just to distill water. Then you can directly get an oxygen supply in a home setup. So Mac, Baxter, Drager is our top companies that comes into critical care solutions. So this is what I'll always tell. So first important thing is after knowing opportunities, we have to know how to choose a domain for the person individually. Like suppose if a person student is pursuing second year, third year, final year, or next time and I just wanted to do a job, even for research purpose, even in second year project or whatever it is, like how you will do choose a domain is first thing is just do an internship in hospitals and explore. First thing you have to go and look at is hospitals and explore all the departments. Luckily, we have a hospital with us. Even our hospital or any other hospital which you go to a hospital and explore all kind of departments. So from this, if you go and explore all departments, we will know what all the equipments which I shared, told previously. Everything comes in hospital department. So once you go there, you just choose what is more purposeful for you. So like you can connect with that, we can connect that with the particular thing. Suppose there's one junior who told that her grandmother was a person who died because of asthma. So and she doesn't get a proper treatment. So he's in a research role, but he told like that makes him more inspired to work for equipment which is related to respiratory devices, critical care, and everything. So if you have certain thing which makes you connect to this biomedical, or that makes you connected, why you chosen this, so that you choose. And again, when you're just choosing it, always try to balance with the working environment. Suppose if you say, if I just choose a critical care surgical equipment, but you are not person who can take it, like you can be person who get panic on seeing blood, or a person who get panic on seeing particular environment. So that also comes in a matter, because you're going to work there, an environment that is you, that would be like a workplace, like how you're going to college bench and just sitting there for 4 years. So if you go and choose particular department, even you work in an industry or go to a hospital, you will be going dealing with that equipment, that kind of work environment for many long years. So just have to connect always with purpose and that working environment. Then only you can really sustain in that industry so long. That is two things you have to consider. So once if you do the domain expertise and opportunity you understand, it is very easy for someone to get the grab an opportunity in the industry. So the challenges in this is actually managing extensive traveling, and again understanding different specialities in doctors. Like see how I told you, it looks like still even after, even if you see 20 years also, we cannot completely understand all the specialities in the hospital and doctors. So, and again, field experience, like it's just to have to go and understand the market, like how I'm just telling you now, this all the different segments, this all the profit, and that is a different thing. And again, you have to make sure the technical and sales things, because we are not from an MBA, we just done an MBE graduate. So suddenly someone has to go and expect, companies expect us to not expect us to sell, but they'll definitely expect a better conversion after our demo. So that kind of things that you have to be balancing. And also the learning speed is very high, because once I just learn a product, there will be 3 months there will be an updation, and 6 months there will be an updation. So there will be continuous updation will be happening. So that is the thing which you have to keep on learning. And again, in quality regulatory is a complete different challenge. As first mentioned, this collaboration with cross-functional team is a big challenge, because as an person of regulatory affairs person, you cannot you go and asking HR, you're going to ask execution person. That's a different thing. So this is collaborating is difficult, and managing everything, the documents or something, that is just you require proper support from this experience. You can just read and say this is the standard, but applying it in practically, that requires a little bit of experience, and regular audits and practical implementation is also a challenge, because as you've seen, like how if you say, go and say to wear mask like that only, no one have followed that. So once you go and tell someone to follow certain procedure, certain process, so maintaining that and implementing and convincing them that they have to follow is a major challenge. So that is the thing which you have to come up. So and other challenges is, especially in medical device services, we don't have a very less resources. Like we have to go on. This is an emerging field, so it's not like readily available there, like a Java or IT industries, wherever we just go and get a certification. Directly, the coaching centers will teach you on everything. Here, that we have to go on learn each and every day from customer, or some kind of with the networking possibilities from some person, which you have to keep on learning because of less resources on gaining practical knowledge. And again, time taken to complete, because here the project involves patient safety and many other factors. So this is like the time taken as a challenges. So for this challenge, the best thing is to you increase your networking things, just to get a support system from people who are working in the field, and just be focused and clear on what domain you have to work. That really gives a very good understanding and also good progress in the opportunities and career you're going to choose. So this is I wanted to tell. So next, before going into questions, I just wanted to answer the few questions which I always get from everyone. So first thing is everyone just will ask how to get a job in a core company. Definitely, that's the first question everyone will ask. So for me, the thing is, as I previously mentioned also, so it's just you have to get a clarity on domain. See, because as a core company, there will be very less opening and it will not be a placement drive, definitely. So if it is a Wipro or TCS or like big companies, they would hire they come to a campus requirement, recruitment, where they can hire multiple peoples. But here, the jobs opportunities is required as will be like very minimal. They will not come as a campus, right? So how will just get a job is that you have to have a proper clarity on what kind of role and what domain you're going to work, and just you have to email contact employers with your resume and cover letter. So when I say this, when someone sees this clarity that this all the things you have to do, definitely you will get an opportunity. Otherwise, when the candidate just comes, when person as a person who is seeing an HR or someone, when they simply ask for job, what happens is you just get some other job which will not be suitable for you or for your profile, and that leads like in 6 months or 1 year you'll just quit. You don't know what to do after that. So first thing is you should have a clarity and you should create cover letter according to that. Like, see, suppose if you have to do a, see, that is a really good story. Still I remember that person who told us, like, so it should not be like that kind of purpose which is more, but at least you should know as a professional means why you have chosen that domain and what you have to, why you're doing the wanted to rule. So this kind of clarity if you get in cover letter with a resume, that really gives easy to for you to get a job in the core company. And also, you know which company you have to apply. So as I told, this all the domain expertise, so this companies you have to apply. So if you don't know anything, you're fresh, then you can completely start like, I don't know anything, I have to know, I'm open to any opportunity and I'll explore. That also is good, but you have to be very clear on what you're doing. That would be easy for you to get job in core company. That's what they expect. Because as a resource, if they're hiring a person, it will require at least 1 or 2 years to train them. So after that, if you immediately leave, that would be causing big problem in company. So that's what they expect as a job employer expectation. So we just get growth and pay. So for this, you have to be same domain in certain things. Suppose if you're just working in imaging and suddenly shifting to surgical device. So here again, you're being a fresher in certain particular thing. So this kind of shift will definitely cause different. And again, just to have to take a little bit additional responsibility from role, because once you get a job, if you're settling down, then it will be difficult for you to grow. And again, you have to stay updated, learning, and build a proper networking and connecting with your mentors, seniors. It definitely will help you in just making a growth progress. And again, always everyone, especially who is in girl, because when in our batch, no one has chosen this field because of traveling and from a woman. There's only two men person who came up to the field, to this industry. So every time they'll ask what you will do when you're traveling and how you will manage. So for me, I'll tell, like, because if you're traveling, the experience you get and the knowledge you get is completely different from sitting in an office and just doing certain work. So here it is easy. If you want to manage traveling and work, it's always better to be very smart and understanding this customer needs, like what you have to solve to customer, and what you have to do doctor as I attend a doctor, or what you have to this expectation. If you're clear, it is very easy for you to manage the traveling. And again, you are, it is very, the company will really support. And again, everyone will have a proper support system. And only thing is, you just have to understand the value that you will get on meeting a doing a work of apart from office work, like an admin work or execution work. Apart from that, when you go and doing, just being in hospital and doing certain things, it really has a very good impact on your profile and also adds value to you. So I'll just also, I just want to do higher studies, and will I get a better job if I do higher studies? This is the one thing which I'll get questions because so the thing is immediately I see if you do engineering after immediately you're going to do an MS MBA. If you're clear at that point, this is a thing you have to do, that's okay. But if you don't know anything, just work for some time and understand what you want to do another 5-10 years and choose the field. If you don't want to do teaching, do an ME. If you want a role in research or thing, then you have to do a MS, and you have to do a management role, better to do an MBA. So this clarity if you have, that would be better for you to get a value for a higher study you're doing, because you are paying another extra thing for a master's degree and spending a time to do a master. But if you're getting a job after masters, also it's going to be same. There is not anything, because they see only domain expertise and field experience as an employer, not a degree. Undergraduate degree is more enough for them, and they are open to even taking triple E or any other domain also with a domain expertise and experience. So just choose it carefully, and again, which is more useful for you. And the sales role, there's many people who's more business minded will ask it. They'll just directly wanted to come into sales role rather than, because I've not mentioned in the opportunities as sales also. So sales is a role, like, because if you not happy with it, someone, but many will be interested, but they will not definitely hire a salesperson as an engineer. So only after 4-5 years they will definitely have wanted a salesperson to come in the field industry. Only maybe a very basic role which we don't want to do, that may be available, but for a person who manages sales or something, that really needs at least 5-6 years experience. And the next thing is what to how do when you want to get an opportunity in abroad. Definitely you'll get an opportunity if you do an additional certification, right? Like suppose if it is for a particular domain, if it is regulatory affairs, so each country has their own certification requirement for their healthcare industry and medical device industry. So if you're doing that additional experience certification along with your work experience, you can apply for that work certificate and work visa, which you can get for a job in abroad as a biomedical engineer or whatever domain you choose to work. So this all the routine questions. So apart from that, do you have any other questions?
Hello, Abinaya.
Yeah.
This is Priya ma'am from Biomedical Engineering Department.
Hi ma'am, good evening.
Good evening. Thanks for giving valuable inputs to our biomedical students.
Okay.
I have one doubt.
Yeah,
What
ma'am.
about the scope of technical report writing for biomedical engineers in the medical industry?
Ma'am, actually, the technical report writing, what you're telling, I think it's like more of medical coding, right, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Correct. So, ma'am, actually, that as a thing, but here the medical coding, uh, the people will be trained as a medical coder, even if they're not having engineering also. Like suppose
Yes.
any that applies to even science graduate who comes with a biology or something. So because that how it works now, ma'am, like they have to decode the medical report. Like suppose if they're just seeing a liver or something, they have to decode it and write the report for them. So that really comes under any science graduate who just wanted to do a medical coding job. They just get that in training and they can do it.
That is one case. I am asking about if they are doing the projects or if they are completing the some prototype or product development in the industry R&D side. So
Mm.
they have to write a report, right? So for
Correct.
that, what is the scope? That is my question.
Okay, okay, I understand. So, ma'am, that is
You
what I
understand?
like. Here the report, and again, when they're doing, there is a many fellowships available, ma'am.
Okay.
Like suppose if they're doing a project and the report, they're submitting a paper and also technical presentation, technical report they're doing. So in the research role, so they can apply their project for fellowships and scholarship. and they can pursue with other universities also, ma'am. Like that is not available in India, but mostly in Germany. And again, in other countries, there's a fellowship available for the persons who just doing certain kind of project. So they have to apply with that kind of technical report. Along with that, they can do a science fellowship in that, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
So that is how they get an opportunity to go for an R&D. But unfortunately, it's not still in that India. But in Germany, there's
Yes,
many
yes.
fellowships like that.
Yes, yes. Okay, okay, okay. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening, Abinaya. Wonderful session. My doubt is that, see, in olden days we had only ECG, then slowly transformed into very hi-fi biomedical devices. And again, when you look into the job opportunities, like 10 years back, medical transcription was one thing which flourished just like that. And now, what is the current scenario? Is there anything like that? And the second question is, do we have any new devices coming out in the near future?
Okay. Yeah. Sir, actually, so the medical transcriptionist is also a very good role, but I really don't see as an opportunity or thing, because the thing is like it doesn't have that kind of engineering into it. Like medical transcription is just typing or decoding the clinical terms into it, and that doesn't require more of problem solving. So that is why it is like now not much preferred in the from an engineering perspective, but still is there. And again, they also feel as a medical transcriptionist is an overqualified person who just whoever as an engineering graduate is an overqualified person. So they just prefer a person who from basic BSc biology or anything, who just have from life science graduate. So that's how now the medical transcriptionist has become. And coming to this new devices, so the innovation or everything, as I mentioned in IT, so they are more into coming into automation, and again the diagnostics like screening solutions and everything is coming up in near future, sir. So when I say automation, why is like now there is there is different balance between Chennai and also if you just go a place of, well, even if you say Viluppuram. So there is many disparity of healthcare services in Chennai and Viluppuram. Even it is very not much difference, but still again I can say like Coimbatore and Ooty, that's like completely different. So here more comes into automation and this kind of teleradiology and all those things. The implementation part is coming into it, and more innovations like robotic surgery is already there, but the many advances is coming in the robotic devices, sir. And the next thing is screening solutions of making non-invasive, like previously where we used to get for jaundice, like a new patient, if you're going to screen for a baby, we just for jaundice screening we have to prick the blood and do it. So the now the major innovations will happen around like non-invasive things, like not pricking the blood, or not making invasive, making it less invasive and more non-invasive technologies. So that is what we are moving into it. And third thing is, apart from this automation and connection, so we are coming into more screening solutions where we do an early diagnosis, like just to do a cervical cancer screening and many things, so that you can come up with the early diagnosis. So this all the three things which is like coming up in the advances of in product fields. So
Thank you, Abhinaya.
and so
Hello, this is Dr. Ramurthy.
hi sir, good
I'm
evening.
with the Biomedical Engineering Department. I'm very happy to see that, first of all, thank you for a very insightful lecture on the job prospects and career prospects. Okay. I think you graduated about 5 years back or so?
Yeah, so I just passed out in 2014.
2014. So just about 8 years. Okay, very nice. So from the introduction, I think you have already served in about 3 or 4 different organizations. And so my question to you is currently, what does your organization do and what is your role in it? How do you contribute to your organization?
Okay.
What is the domain of their business? Yeah, right.
Okay. Sure, sir. So actually, I work for a Genworks Health, that is a medical device startup, which does do a distribution for all the other companies. And so the major purpose of the Genworks Health startup is here we just focus more on tier 2, tier 3 cities. Just our purpose is to connect the disparity between this tier 1 and tier 2, tier 3 cities. So that is like purpose of thing, because the technology advancements to bring up in tier 2, tier 3 cities, like that is more challenge we are facing. And my role is just to make sure the quality and customer experience of my organization. So here for that I just do this regulatory affairs, where there's a team where we'll work on this ISO and all the devices whichever we are getting from multiple vendors. We'll just make sure that that comes from with all the regulatory requirements, and also others all the regulatory standards. An additional thing is customer experience for multiple processes, that is more of business perspective, just to manage the management quality of internal organization by setting a process for and they're making sure they are following it based on the metrics, just setting the metrics for them to measure the performance, and just maintaining their ratio and everything. So this is my contribution as of now.
Very good, very nice. So majorly, I mean, you talked about tier 2, tier 3 cities. So your direct customers are hospital systems or doctors. And, in India, we've been talking about privatization of health, and but the private hospitals has grown to some extent, and not to the extent based on the demand of the country.
Correct.
So, and I don't know how you deal with the individual doctors. Many doctors do practice as small groups, clinics, etc. So how does that work?
Yeah, sir, actually, so we have different, always deals with doctor, but there are different kind of setups. As you told, government setup, private sector, and also individual setup is there. So the major thing that comes is, it's more than setup. When they comes switch the geography, their their commitment to serve that quality becomes less, because see, even if I just take about the individual customer, if the individual customer is coming to Coimbatore and say KG hospitals or something, like even there, and any individual setup if you take the the Coimbatore or something, it's like it's more of city which has all the facilities. So the individual setups, if they are doing there, so their commitment to the quality and the serve the patient is different, because the customer, the patients will ask question to them. Here, the other parts, like the rural parts or something, the patient doesn't know what to ask doctor, or what is the thing. So that is a thing. So that comes a challenge, because the customer will just, we can really see the difference of they are using the technology here, and there is completely different because of it. But when we deal with that customer, we have to tell them the user friendliness of technology, and how it will give the clinical impact to them individually. So that is when the individual contribution, it's more of, as I told, the coordination and negotiation. So whenever we do to that individual customer, it's more than, it's always 50-50%. That one is like clinical benefits which we get from them, and how they are going to it will be useful for their setup as a monetary benefits or financial benefits. So only with this two kind of communication, we can really convince them on the technology.
Right.
An individual customer especially, because as I told, this disparity will be there because they are okay with any kind of technology, but when they wanted to give them the best, so we will just tell them the clinical impact and the everything which you're going to get.
Very good. Yeah, I understand it's quite a challenging issue because of the vast disparity. Even in big cities, it is. I think in, for example, the way patients are treated in a government hospital is very different from how
Yeah.
it's treated in, say, private hospitals, etc. Right. So you think the biomedical engineers have a role in introducing or bringing in some quality aspects to the health delivery systems. That's very good. Good to learn.
Yeah,
Okay, all the
definitely.
best. Right.
So we have any students who joined?
Yeah, there were a few students, but now I'm not able to see.
Okay.
Okay.
At some point, there were about 50% student participants were there, but yeah, I think many have moved on. I think.
Yes. Abinaya, one more last question from my
Yeah, so you
side.
can ask. I'm open to questions.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. See, when I just surfed through some of my friends, like I came to know that in all IT companies, there is a biomedical wing. And but it was surprising for me that many are aware of that. Just could you, if you have some insights on that, could you just elaborate it?
Yeah, sir, actually, see, the thing is, so there's two kind of engineers who are shifting into an IT company. So one is who just has a domain expertise and just shift into IT. So they definitely will be more into healthcare IT only. And another thing is the people who just shift without like to be in core company. So they just do an IT, they shift to IT and just do a support function. So like for in like some example, there's one person like even from my batch who just shifted to sometimes he's working in the cloud computing, and now he was after that he was into Pfizer, like that is a pharma company where you just use the cloud company for all this processes which is happening in during the pandemic for Pfizer and everything. So this many people who just has that domain expertise, they just go and do even for IT, they work more for biomedical engineering. But the one thing is when they do without domain expertise, what happens is, so when there is something like layoff or anything, the company easily cuts them off, like because they don't feel any value on them to what to invest or something. So that is what I see. But I could also see the persons who using the IT opportunity with their background of biomedical and whatever they gained, and they switched over into IT. So that is really good thing to know also, sir. So that is one thing. And again, this is more. I also seen like in TCS or something, we just meet there are many people who just done from there, just directly shift in the placement. That is also there. It's like around like 50%, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, but that's what I also wanted to tell. Like, I'll always tell that focus on some kind of domain expertise. Otherwise, it will be like always you have to search for some other job, and they will not get that respect from the employer, like what we're going to contribute them or something.
Yeah, it's already 7, but still one last question. Like
Yes,
it is purely like if you are interested, you can answer it, else you can just skip
please,
off it.
for sure.
Like, yeah, the question is about, see, I've seen so many alumnus and alumna who have work experience of 5 plus or 8 plus. After the experience in very good renowned industries, they shift to startup. And I wonder whether their package is matched. So that is my question.
Okay, okay, no issue, sir. I understand. See, the thing is, why we shift to short startup is the thing is here. It's definitely packages also matter, but here in the MNC, what happens, no, sir? They are defining scope, and they would be like whatever they ask to do, we will do. So that will be a kind of work what we are doing. But in startup, see, I have this kind of freedom. See, if I have the working, if this is my role which I'm going to do a quality or something, so I have a freedom like to go and talk to an authority. Suppose if I have any idea or project also, so I can implement it and also do that as an additionally. So that is the thing, and again you can do a side hustle or everything which you can do. But when once you go and renowned company like this, what happens is they pay okay, but you know you will not get the time for you to explore apart from the job. So they will be like they make you engage like completely 24 cross 7 into the job, but here and again you will not have the time to think on our own. So that is what we feel like. I also feel, and many also feel, when you're working for that renowned MNCs, we are always been like whatever they tell, they will do that like that. But now here we have that kind of again to explore things and have do something which in routine basis. So and again when package matches, because we have a time to do on additional things also. Like it looks like same, because in previously will be like completely occupied, the time will be completely occupied for certain package, but here you're just doing a particular job and you'll have like a little time again also to pursue some other things. So that's why I prefer power, many also prefer startup.
Very nice. In simple words, if you correlate to chess, you are not a SIPA, you are a minister. You have enough freedom to work in all departments, and you have decision making also. Very nice, very nice. Yeah.
Also, definitely, because even if you go to big met, you cannot even meet your manager. That you have to wait to speak to your manager. You have to wait for 2 3 weeks. Like so, that really causes your problem. Like
Yeah, audience, if you have any other questions, please you can raise it. Yeah, in case if there are no other questions, Abinaya, Ram sir, and Vasanth sir, shall we go for the closing remarks?
Yes, Thomas.
Yeah. Thank you, Abinaya Baskaran, 2014 Biomedical Engineering passed out. It was a wonderful evening. You have made thorough, you have given a very good insight about the medical device industry, the pros and cons of that. And the lovely part was that the few message for the students really what to do after graduation, have a time gap, get some industry exposure, then try for the post graduation. That was really a valuable point what you were given, and excellent evening. Thank you so much. Thank you, Department of Biomedical Engineering, and Lavanya ma'am for roping in Abinaya Baskaran for this 93rd webinar talk. SRE's Alumni Association is proud to host you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, audience, student friends, and the faculty members who are joined, and alumnus from all over the globe who are available for this 93rd webinar talk. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.